Good afternoon. The Committee on Housing and Homelessness Prevention will come to order. We do have a quorum. The first item on our agenda is Senate File 2298. Senator Port, to your bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I do have an A2 author's amendment. This is a DE to put it into our current bill form.
Senator Port moves the A2 author's amendment. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. The amendment is adopted. And you have an additional A4 technical amendment. Is that correct, Chair Port?
I do have the A4 technical amendment. MHFA and MMB had feedback about the transfer and appropriation language within the Housing Omnibus A2. This is a technical amendment that removes transfer language, clarifies that the appropriations to Minnesota Housing are from the general fund, and conforms with budget rules, making sure funds are deposited correctly for each appropriation. SCARFA, fiscal staff, House nonpartisan staff, the revisor, MMB, and MHFA are all comfortable with the technical amendment, and it is the language that is represented in the spreadsheet.
Thank you. Senator Draheim.
Thank you. I have not had time to look at it, so on 121, can someone just talk about 121 and 122, if that's just technical or?
Mr. Olofsson.
Yes, Senator Draheim, that's just making sure all the programs or the transfer authority matches up. Thanks. Technical.
Any other questions on the A4? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries, and the A4 is adopted. Senator Port.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, the cost of housing is higher than ever in Minnesota, and the dream of home ownership is slipping out of reach for more and more families. Housing affordability is under threat from extreme tariffs and federal instability, and now is the time to ensure that every Minnesotan has a safe and stable place to call home. This bill follows up on historic investments in 2023 and 24 by supporting critically needed housing resources, including family homelessness prevention, support for workforce housing infrastructure in greater Minnesota, and programs to help new families own a home for the first time. I will say that this bill meets the moment of our budget realities, but not the reality of Minnesotans' lives. One of the biggest reasons we are in this budget position is because tax revenues are down from estimates, and the top two reasons Minnesotans gave was because they were spending too much of their income on housing and health care. We need to continue to fight to lower those costs, and I remain committed to that fight. I hope through this process we will continue to be able to prioritize housing for all Minnesotans.
Thank you. We'll next move to walkthrough by Senate Council, and our fiscal analyst. We'll start with Mr. Olofsson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, in your packets, you should have a spreadsheet, top left corner, Senate File 2298 A2DE amendment as amended by the A4 detailed spreadsheet, timestamp of 9:12 a.m. in the top right corner. So just to orient you to the spreadsheet, column A shows the various appropriations. Column B shows the fund from where the appropriations are coming from. What we'll primarily focus on is columns I through Q, and I'll just walk through the change items from the base to show you what the additional spending in this bill is coming from. So just to also, this committee received a general fund target of $3 million for fiscal years 25 through 27 and $1 million in the tails biennium of fiscal years 28-29. And the bill in front of you meets those budget targets. So moving to page 3, which has the change items, starting with the Housing Finance Agency on line 83. For the Family Homelessness Prevention and Assistance Program, or FHPAP, in fiscal year 26, there's $10.15 million of additional spending from the general fund in FY26. That's a one-time increase. Moving on down to line 84, for the Greater Minnesota Housing Infrastructure Grants Program from the general fund, there's $2 million in FY26, and then $2 million of additional spending in FY26, and then $500,000 ongoing in the tails beginning in FY28, for a total cost of $1 million for the tails biennium. On line 85, for the community-based first-generation home buyer down payers assistance program through MMCDC, there's $2 million of additional spending in FY26, And then it's also added to the base and the tails of $450,000 ongoing from the general fund for a total biennial cost of $900,000. Moving on down to line 86, there's a $10 million savings in FY25 by reducing or canceling the single-family housing aspect of the community stabilization program. And that concludes Minnesota Housing Finance Agency. For the Legislative Coordinating Commission, or LCC, there's the Task Force on Homeowners Insurance on line 89. That's $200,000 one time in FY26 from the general fund. And then on line 92, there's the repeal of the transfer to the housing support account, which has a savings of $450,000 to the general fund in FY25, and then $900,000 in the 26-27 biennium, and $900,000 in the 28-29 biennium. So for a total general fund savings in FY25 of $10.45 million, this is on line 93, and then additional spending of so $10.45 million savings in FY25, additional spending of $13.45 million in 26-27. So when you combine those together, you get the $3 million target for 25 through 27, and then the net total net change items on line 93 for 28 to 29 of $1 million, which meets this committee's general fund target. And that concludes my walkthrough.
Thank you, Mr. Olafson. Next, we'll hear from Ms. Painter.
Madam Chair and members, I'll just take you through Article 2, which contains policy provisions relating to housing and housing finance agency programs. These all come from bills that were heard in our committee, and there's a table in the bill summary in your packet that shows where these bills came from. Section 1 adds counties and cities that allocate low-income housing tax credits to the section relating to wage theft prevention and use of responsible contractors, and makes a technical correction related to multifamily housing. This is from the Housing Finance Agency Policy Bill that Senator Port authored. Section 2 adds to the powers and duties of the Housing Finance Agency a requirement to submit an annual report on the financial stability of the affordable housing industry. This came from the bill relating to the Task Force on Long-Term Sustainability of Affordable Housing, which Senator Port authored. Section 3 adds a new subdivision to the powers and duties of the agency, requiring that the agency convene an annual meeting to discuss affordable housing issues with cities and counties with high levels of cost-burdened households. This again is from the Task Force for the Sustainability of Affordable Housing bill. Section 4 allows the commissioner to determine a formula to determine award amounts for the rent assistance program and to redistribute unused funds among program administrators. This is from the Housing Finance Agency Policy Bill. Section 5 modifies the eligibility for the Economic Development and Housing Challenge Program by adding contract alternative and tribal contract schools to the eligible recipients subdivision. And Section 6 amends the subdivision relating to grants to schools in the Economic Development and Housing Challenge Program to allow a nonprofit organization contracted by a school, an educational cooperative, or a charter school to be awarded a grant. Both these sections came from Senate File 2792, authored by Senator Mohammed. Section 7 amends the eligible recipients for the Minnesota Housing Tax Credit Contribution Grants and Loans to clarify that officers or principals, for the purpose of disqualifying a business, do not include individuals serving as volunteer nonprofit board members. This is from the Housing Finance Agency Policy Bill. Sections 8 and 9 both came from Senate File 1610, authored by Senator Uma Verbaeten. Section 8 modifies the community-based first-generation homebuyers assistance program, which was enacted in 2023. It established a pilot program in 2023 for Midwest Minnesota Community Development Corporation to develop a down payment assistance program for first-time homebuyers. Section 8 codifies the program in Chapter 462A as an ongoing program to be administered by a community development financial institution. Section 9 amends the appropriation for the community-based first-generation homebuyers down payment assistance program, removing the requirement for any funds recaptured after the 3-year program period to be remitted to the Housing Finance Agency. Section 10 amends the Local Housing Trust Fund Grants Program to require a grantee to use the funds within 5 years. This is from the Housing Finance Agency Policy Bill. Section 11 amends the high-rise sprinkler system grant program to allow loans and amends the definition of eligible building to include those 7 stories or more and those serving households at or below 60% of the area median income. This was in both Senate File 1895, which Senator Mohammed authored, and the Housing Finance Agency Policy Bill. Section 12 requires the Commissioner of the Housing Finance Agency to develop a policy framework for targeted stabilization of regulated affordable housing and to report on the policy framework to the Board of Directors and the Legislature. This is from the Task Force on the Long-Term Sustainability of Affordable Housing. Section 13 allows the Commissioner of the Housing Finance Agency to convene regular meetings of public funders and affordable housing stakeholders. That, again, is from the Task Force bill. And Section 14 establishes a task force to evaluate issues and provide recommendations to the legislature about insurance affordability. And this is from Senate File 2205, which Senator Port authored.
Thank you. Senator Port, any other comments before we move to testimony?
No, we can go to testimony.
All right, we will begin with Commissioner Ho. After that will be Libby Murphy. Commissioner, welcome to the committee. When you are ready, please introduce yourself and begin.
Chair Bolden, members of the committee, my name is Jennifer Ho, and I am the Commissioner of Minnesota Housing. I really appreciate the opportunity to testify for the committee this morning and for all the conversations and dialogue that we've already had this session about how to advance affordable housing in Minnesota. Everyone in this room knows that we need more housing. Everyone in this room wants more housing, and I feel good about our work together within the current budget context to move us towards this shared goal. Let me start by expressing my gratitude for the inclusion of the agency's policy and technical bill language and the A3 technical amendment. This isn't flashy stuff, but it helps us be responsive and be better partners with our community partners. And Chair Port, I know you fight for significant housing investments with every opportunity that you get, and we appreciate the additional resources in your target. We're also grateful for your support of the agency's base programs that create and preserve housing opportunities throughout the state. We agree it's not enough, but these resources are critical to providing housing stability, creating new homes, and preserving the homes that we have. It's hard to meet all the needs with fewer resources available this year. On one hand, we know that base funding for the Family Homeless Prevention and Assistance Program won't reach every household who faces a housing crisis. We also know that single-family resources to address investor-owned housing are limited and critical to keeping homeownership affordable and accessible. There will be tough decisions, but I look forward to the conversations ahead. One topic that I'd like to discuss in the coming weeks is how to sustainably fund first-generation down payment assistance as a state. As many of you know, the agency recently modified our first-time homebuyer programs to include the first-generation program as part of the ongoing suite of resources offered by the agency. While this effort was kickstarted in 2023 with $50 million in one-time funding, we recognized how critical this program is to close the homeownership gap. The agency's first-time homebuyer program works with local lenders and realtors. It's always needed more resources. Right now, state appropriations for first-time homebuyer down payment assistance are less than $1 million per year. As the conversation continues over the next month, my staff and I will be available to provide our support and technical assistance on bill language to help with the implementation. Thank you, and as always, thank you for your commitment to housing.
Thank you. Next, we'll hear from Libby Murphy. After that, Ben Helvig-Anderson.
Chair Bolden, members of the committee. My name is Libby Murphy. I'm the Director of Policy at the Minnesota Housing Partnership. Thank you for this opportunity to testify today. MHP and the Erase campaign, which you heard from earlier this session, the End Rent Arrears and Stop Evictions, supports the $10 million one-time increase to the Family Homeless Prevention and Assistance Program. This is critically needed assistance to help families who are facing financial crisis stay in their homes, or if they unfortunately do experience homelessness, that experience is short. And the testifier, one of the testifiers who, a few weeks ago when we heard the bill, after that spoke about it cost in their county $45,000 on average to bring a family out of homelessness, but it costs on average only $3,500 to keep a family stably housed. This is a significant investment that has just immense impacts and saves counties and cities money on their end to keep families in their homes. And part of why there's so many households who are experiencing cost burden and on the verge of a housing crisis is both how we've underfunded housing in the state, which is why we need something like Senator Mohammed's constitutional amendment that would provide dedicated funding for housing. The skinny bill that you have before you, it's just, if you look at Minnesota Housing's 2025 Key Housing Trends Report, we are to subsidize our way out is going to cost much more than what we have put forward in this bill and what we're able to, and we understand that. But so we need to look at other dedicated revenues for housing. And we can't fully subsidize our way out of the crisis. And so we need to look at how barriers to building homes, how we're bogging down the system, how we're derailing projects, we're increasing costs. And so we need to look at land use and zoning. And so I urge this committee to continue having conversations with your colleagues about what are the policy levers that we can tackle this legislative session to make sure that we are building as much housing as we possibly can. We're using land efficiently. We're using our resources that we do have as a state, that we're investing, that they're going as far as possible, that they're not being tied up in these delays and these derailments in kind of the red tape at the local level. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Next will be Ben Helvick Anderson, and I also invite Roxanne Young Kimball to come forward, as you will be next.
Thank you, Madam Chair and committee members. My name is Ben Helvick Anderson, and I'm from Beacon Interfaith Housing Collaborative. Thank you all for your hard work you have put into creating this housing omnibus bill. Overall, Beacon supports this bill and believes it has many positive aspects that address the issues of our state. We are grateful for the inclusion of the main policy items from the task force on the long-term sustainability of affordable housing. Of the many good provisions in this bill, I want to highlight 3 of them. The first is for Minnesota Housing to convene local governments and funders to map out and utilize resources most effectively. With fewer state resources and the fear of losing federal funding, achieving the most alignment within the system is crucial. We hope this can create more coordination around the local affordable housing funds, the LAHA fund resources in the metro, and utilize the interagency stabilization group most effectively. Secondly, we support the policy framework for targeted stabilization. You've already heard from me and many others about the needs of the affordable housing industry. This bill begins the process of creating a framework for significant coordination at the state level of resources and regulatory relief to help stabilize the homes of the most vulnerable Minnesotans. Thirdly, we support the creation of the Task Force on Insurance, which will be launched through this bill and help tackle one of the main drivers of higher costs. Lastly, we are grateful for the opportunity last week to discuss with you the bill regarding the addition of supportive services as an eligible use to the state housing tax credit. We understand that forces greater than this committee prevented from moving forward, but we appreciated the support of Chair Port and other senators who worked with us on this bill. We look forward to continuing that conversation in the future. And then lastly, just to echo Libby Murphy, the last testifier, that we also very much support the constitutional amendment and hope that that conversation can continue to move forward because we clearly need more money in housing. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Next is Roxanne Young Kimball, and after that will be Lucas Franco.
Thank you, Chair Bolden and members of the committee. My name is Roxanne Young Kimball, and I'm the president of the Minnesota Homeownership Center, a nonprofit intermediary leading and convening stakeholders in policy and programming for affordable homeownership. Homeownership is a critical affordable housing strategy. A 2021 Urban Institute brief framed the benefits. When compared to the rental market, homeownership costs decrease over time and are more stable. Homeownership builds family assets that can be leveraged for education, medical care, or economic emergencies. And when tragedy strikes, homeowners have more options to keep their housing or to receive support to transition to a new home. We applaud the homeownership investments outlined in Senate File 2298. 3 are particularly important to support households accessing and sustaining homeownership. The First Generation Community Down Payment Assistance Program. developed in a statewide coalition with industry stakeholders and community members, and delivered by trusted community-based organizations. The First Gen program has proven its success to bring critical, meaningful support statewide to households historically left out of homeownership by housing systems. We appreciate the difficulty of the current budget landscape in Minnesota and are grateful that permanent funding is recommended in fiscal year 2026 and beyond. Critically, as designed, this program supports homebuyer choice by allowing them to pick the mortgage product that best suits their needs. To date, over 100 first mortgage products, including Minnesota Housing, USDA, and community or bank design portfolio products that are specifically designed to reach particularly high barrier households, have partnered with this program. Continuing base funding for homebuyer education, counseling, and training will allow community-based organizations around the state to empower households to make informed choice about their housing. It is a low-cost and high-impact intervention that reaches all corners of Minnesota. And finally, establishing a task force to study insurance impacts in Minnesota. I served on the legislative working group regarding homeownership associations and common interest communities with Senator Lucero and Senator Pop. And insurance was highlighted both by industry professionals and homeowners as a major barrier to sustaining homeownership. We thank Senator Umu Verbaeten, Senator Mohammed, and Senator Port, and all of the bill co-authors for their leadership on these important initiatives. Thank you to the committee for the opportunity to speak today.
Thank you for your testimony. Next is Lucas Franco, and then after that, Jason Paschal.
Good afternoon, Chair Bolden and members of the committee. For the record, my name is Lucas Franco, and I'm here on behalf of Leuna, Minnesota, and North Dakota. We represent more than 14,000 skilled construction workers who build and maintain Minnesota's infrastructure, including our housing infrastructure. I'm here today to express support for SF 2298. This legislation makes important investments in high-impact programs while working to increase efficiencies in our housing production. As you all know very well, Minnesota faces a substantial shortage of affordable housing. Historically, we've primarily testified in relation to issues related to investment in housing infrastructure production. While this remains incredibly important, we're increasingly hearing from our members about the challenges they face renting or buying a home in Minnesota. The good news is that we've made immense progress thanks to the leadership of this committee, the work of MHFA, and the investment of many units of local government. Yet we're still nowhere near where we need to be. We're encouraged, however, that housing investment is a priority even in this incredibly challenging fiscal environment. SF 2298 makes important investments in proven housing production programs while also recognizing the need for stakeholder collaboration to better understand the barriers we face to meeting existing demand at affordable per unit prices. I want to highlight investments in workforce housing, housing infrastructure, and home ownership. I also want to highlight support for some of the policy recommendations aimed at better understanding and reducing the skyrocketing per unit costs. Ultimately, we're in the business of building stuff, and high production costs hinder development and put immense downward pressure on labor costs, often leading to unscrupulous employment practices. We need to reduce per unit costs, and we strongly believe that land use reform is an important way to do this in the future. We look forward to continuing to work on ways to reduce these high per unit costs. Finally, while we're disappointed that the target did not allow for the level of investment in locally owned and controlled housing that we need, we're committed to continuing to work on this issue. And as I've testified before, publicly owned and locally controlled housing has a number of advantages over the tax credit subsidy model that we primarily rely on. Most importantly, it helps reduce per unit costs by efficiently using scarce public dollars. So thank you for your time and for your collective work on addressing our housing needs.
Thank you for your testimony. And our last testifier will be Jason Paschal.
Thank you, Chair Bolden and members of the committee. My name is Jason Paschal, and I am here today on behalf of North Country Cooperative Foundation to ask for the inclusion of funding requests of SF 2681 and SF 1775. I want to begin by thanking this committee for their ongoing bipartisan support of manufactured housing cooperatives. Minnesota is home to over 800 manufactured housing communities, providing nearly 45,000 units of naturally occurring affordable home ownership. However, these communities and the families who rely on them are at risk. Private investors continue to acquire parks, raising lot rents and displacing residents. In the last decade alone, land values in these communities have appreciated by 476%, making them one of the fastest appreciating commercial real estate assets. Resident ownership is the solution. When homeowners collectively purchase their land, they secure long-term affordability, improve infrastructure, and gain control over their housing futures. Thanks to your past investments, we've already helped communities in Alexandria, Breckenridge, Zumbrota, and Fairmont transition to resident ownership, saving families an average of $720 per year, money that stays in their pockets for food, medicine, and other essentials. However, we now face two major challenges. Minnesota Housing has paused financing for cooperative ownership, meaning our loan fund is playing a much larger role in preserving communities. Aging infrastructure is threatening the long-term viability of many communities. Park owners lack the funds to make critical repairs without passing on huge rent increases to the residents. In SF 2681 and SF 1775, they provide targeted solutions. Funding to our revolving loan fund to secure resident ownership and prevent displacement, and providing down payment assistance, expanding accessible, affordable home ownership, and increasing the funding for the manufactured home community redevelopment program, ensuring communities can repair roads, water, sewer, and electrical systems without forcing rent hikes and low-income homeowners. MHCR is a proven high-impact program, but demand has far outpaced funding. Only 21% of requests were awarded in 2024. Without additional investment, communities will continue to deteriorate and face closure, forcing families into more expensive and less stable housing. This funding is not theoretical. We have a pipeline of communities ready to make these transitions right now. Without it, these communities will be lost to private investors, escalating costs for families across the state. The time to act is now. I urge you to approve this funding and continue Minnesota's leadership in preserving affordable home ownership. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your testimony. All right, that concludes our testimony. I'll remind members that the plan is for full discussion and markup and vote on this bill on Thursday, but we'll open it if there's anything anyone wants to say today. Senator Abler.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I've enjoyed being on this committee and learned a lot, so if you don't mind me asking a couple of rookie questions. If you can just explain the math of the bill. Maybe it's correct that most of the money comes out of the sales tax? Or where does all that money come from if our target is $3 million and $1 million? So is there an overview somebody can give me about that?
Senator Port.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Senator Abler, $3 million and $1 million was our target. We also pulled in $10 million from a program that was not yet set up last year. So we pulled that back to add to the FHPAP funding. And then there's also a transfer that perhaps Mr. Olofsson can talk about that the governor and I think all of the fiscal staff suggested we cancel. And so that is also in there, but Mr. Olofsson, if you can talk about that piece.
Mr. Olofsson.
Madam Chair, Senator Abler, so all of this funding that we're talking about today is coming from the general fund. Just to say that overall, what Senator Port mentioned, there was a transfer into the special revenue fund of $450,000 per year. The bill before you cancels that transfer that began in fiscal year 25 for the savings to the general fund of $450,000 per year.
Thank you. Senator Abler.
All right, well, I just see millions of dollars. Is that right, or did I read it wrong? I'm not
Mr. Olafson.
Senator Abler, Madam Chair, Senator Abler, the base funding from the general fund for Minnesota Housing Finance Agency is in 26-27 is $165.596 million. So that's in the base from the general fund, and then $3 million above that is our target.
Well, thank you,
Senator
Madam Chair.
Abler.
I just didn't know there was base funding. So everything I got that. So then, but you can spend that however you like, and this is how you like. I got it. I'll only be a rookie one time, Madam Chair, so thank you.
Thank you.
Senator Draheim.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Senator Port, for your work on this bill. I know it isn't easy. I'm on 9.28 of the A2, in just kind of more of a technical inquiry. It looks like there was a change from multi-unit residential to multifamily.
Senator Port.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Senator Draheim. I believe that was a technical change in the agency's bill. Perhaps Mr. Kitzberger, if he has anything to add to that, but it was just to get the correct way that the technical definition is in other statutes lined up.
I'll just note we're getting a nod from Ms. Painter about that as well. Senator Draheim.
I'm good, thank you.
All right. Senator Port, any closing comments for today?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This wasn't a fun bill to write. It wasn't an easy bill to write, even though it was a very small amount of money. There are vast housing needs across our state. I know this committee has taken a long, hard look at policy changes that we can make that I hope are continuing to be part of the conversation that could make it easier and less expensive to build housing. But we need housing infrastructure bonds. We need rental assistance. We need manufactured home resources. I hope we will continue to move those conversations forward through this process. I will just say to the decisions that we made for moving more money into FHPAP, the biggest thing that we can offer Minnesotans in this moment is some level of stability. And as we heard from Ms. Murphy, that stability costs significantly less than if we allow families to fall into homelessness. The Greater Minnesota Infrastructure Program, if we ever hope to have housing growth in Greater Minnesota to the level that we need, to the level that communities are asking for, to the level that businesses are asking for, we have to invest in infrastructure. It is simply not a cost that they can take on their own. It's an investment we must make, and though it's a small amount of money, this builds it into the base so that we continue to make that investment year over year, and it's an amount of money I hope we can revisit in the future as well. And finally, for first generation DPA, we've heard a lot from community that this program was really deeply connected into their communities and allowed them the freedom to use different mortgage products that suited different communities, suited people's needs. And for that reason, we are building that also into the base budget. So it is an ongoing program. Again, nowhere near the amount of money of first generation down payment assistance that's needed, but it puts our values on the page and says we need to continue this program. We need to meet people where they are, provide them with products that fit their lives, and start the work of closing the shameful homeownership gap that Minnesota has. With that, this is, our first bill. I hope through conversations with leadership, with the House, we will end up with a stronger housing target. I will certainly be fighting for that, and I appreciate the committee's time today.
Thank you, Senator Port. So as stated, we will plan for full discussion and markup on this bill on Thursday, April 3rd. And with that, Senate File 2298 is laid on the table. So members, please keep the materials in your packets for use again on Thursday. We'd like to not have to reprint everything. And a final note that Chairport has a bill at the start of committee on Thursday and state and local governments on Thursday. So we will start on Thursday at 12:45 instead of our usual 12:30. That being the end of our agenda.
Madam Chair, if I could, just to let the committee know, the insurance task force that is in this bill still has to go to state government. It's in this bill because I do have a hearing for that on Thursday. So before this moves to the floor, it will have gone through all of its necessary committees, but just wanted to let folks know that's why I will be late.
Very good. Thank you. Senator Abler?
Well, thanks, and I figured out the spreadsheet, so I found the $3 million, and that was enlightening. So we discussed in this committee some of the issues with equity, investors, and there's the HOA bill, which is moving, and then whatever comes of your, making people jam their way into my neighborhood bill, that's anyway, with a threeplex bill. Is there more work that we're going to do to offer any relief to some of these people that have come forward to us? And I know you're friendly to it, but that's not part of this bill. Is there other work to do? That's my question.
Senator Port.
Thank you, Madam Chair and Senator Abler. Unfortunately, some of those bills have to go to other committees, primarily Judiciary and Commerce, where they are not moving. It is my continued pledge that I will keep pushing on those chairs to hear those bills, to move those bills. I think that there is great aid that we can give to Minnesotans in protecting them from predatory investors who are taking advantage of Minnesotans, particularly on fixed incomes and in low-income places. I continue to hope those bills have a chance. If they don't move this year, I will be happy to sign on with you again next year and keep pushing for them, because I think Minnesotans actually deserve us to fight for them in those places. And I actually think that those are some of the places where if we don't get it under control now, it will just exacerbate our housing crisis into the future. If we let investor-owned hedge funds continue to buy up property, continue to hold hostage seniors who are on fixed incomes, I think it's a very dangerous place for our housing to get to.
Senator Abler.
And Madam Chair, and I appreciate the discussion. I was just reading this week, there was something equities. I mean, they were not even hiding that they're equities that emptied a building in St. Paul. They kicked out even law firms. What kind of lawyers are those to get kicked out in 3 days? You think they can't even do that, but it is wrong. And to take a building and then just run it into the ground, and apparently that company, I forget their name, probably just as well, I won't get sued then, but they just ran it into the ground. It seems like everything they have is just not run well. And I don't know what I mean. We can talk about it, but I just think as a policy of Minnesota that we don't want to be taken over by people who don't care about our state. Be an equity investor, respect the people that you're serving, understand their math, and be polite, and we will embrace you here. But don't just take it and strip it out. And anyway, so I was shocked about that. And anyway, I felt really, the little vendors in there, I'm like, sorry, you don't get to be a vendor anymore. And, the Mayor Carter, thank you, got 3 more days of utilities to get paid. Like, I just don't understand where we have gone in that. So anyway, thank you for letting me comment.
More work ahead of us, to be sure. All right. With that being at the end of our agenda, this committee is adjourned.